There's that old familiar school bell, and every great school has a great fight song, and I choose to use the University of Idaho's fight song. Say it with me, say it loud, say it proud. I-D-A-H-O, Idaho, Idaho, go, go, go. That's right, you're listening to an inspirational, exceptional, motivational episode of Conducting My Life. I'm your host, Paul Everts. You can reach me on email address, and I wish you would. It's B-A-N-D, the number 2 together, band together, Comcast.net. Or go to our handsome website, which is conductingmylife.com, where you'll see I'm an author, speaker, trainer, coach. I represent the John Maxwell team when I'm doing my speaking, training, and author coach. But actually, I represent myself, and I use the Maxwell material, which is awesome. John Maxwell's a New York Times bestselling author and really been an important part of my life. Had the pleasure of meeting him several times, and he's a good man. So with that being said, we are offering a High Road Leadership Seminar on the 22nd of March, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. More information, conductingmylife.com/events. I'm recording this on the 15th of February at 10:11 a.m. from our beautiful home in Roseville, California. And I have this scheduled to go out to you all on the 26th of February. And what I'm doing now is I'm putting my blog articles on this podcast. So now it's an audio version because some of us like to listen and some of us, don't have the time to sit there and read. So I thought, hey, why not do this? And I'm going way back into September of 2017. And the article is I Am a Marrano. Marrano is M-A-R-R-A-N-O. Go search what that word means. I think it's a great word. Maybe I'll tell you as we're doing this. But remember, as I read this to you, September 2017, I was in my first month of my new job at a high school in Roseville, California. I don't say the high school's name. You can Google and find out where that was. And I thought, whoa, I am a Marrano. Also understand, too, September 2017, so we were, 9 months into the first Trump administration? And I'm going to just remind you as I'm reading this to you, keep in mind, this was written 8 years ago. So it starts off with a list of bullet points. Defriended. Blocked your message. How can you be a Christian and support Donald Trump? Oh, so you support Donald Trump. Wow, you must be a white supremacist. You do believe the colonization of the United States was the largest cultural bomb our nation has faced? You didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. You didn't vote for Donald Trump. Well, you writing in your name for president means you did vote for Donald Trump. 3 more bullet points. You're not wrong. You're bad. You actually believe the United States of America is the greatest nation in the world? You are a xenophobe, sir. I don't like you anymore. And the last bullet point. Remember, September 2017. You actually believe it is wrong for the NFL players to sit during the national anthem to show their protest of police brutality? You are a bad person. I don't like you anymore. Again, that was, oh my gosh, PTSD when I read that list. So today, again, September 2017, I am a white, heterosexual, married Christian male who is a public school teacher and a musician. There has not been a time more now or since January 20th, 2009, when I felt being a white, heterosexual, married Christian male who is a public school teacher and musician would be a bad thing or negative thing, even a hindrance to being a public school music teacher. October 5th, 2016. Oh my gosh. I was brought into the meeting room in the school's administration office to listen to a complaint about me. We hear you are socially engineering our students, pushing your agenda. You know that is terribly unprofessional. Now, I want to say that October 5, 2016, I was teaching at a Bay Area public school. It was my 9th year. My wife and I took a band of 24 kids. And by the 9th year, 2 full-time music teachers took them to Disneyland, took them to New York's Carnegie Hall, Chicago's Symphony Hall, took them to Ireland. Okay? We went from 24 kids, me being the only music teacher, to 2 full-time music teachers. And now, 9 years, this is the 9th year being at this school, we hear you are socially engineering our students, pushing your agenda. You know that is terribly unprofessional. That was October the 5th, 2016. It's hard to imagine 5 years later, same week, same day of the week, by the way, I would be admonished by the next California high school I taught at. Something's going on, people. I didn't make the leader shift. So let's continue with this blog article that was written 8 years ago. Unfortunately, my new usual response to the accusation of professional is, this is the first time I've heard this. This parent complaint goes to the level of meeting with the principal, assistant principal, and union president. Who complained? The administrator responded, we cannot tell you. They think you will have retribution on the student who made the accusation. Now, 8 years later, that's still the standard answer. Okay? They won't tell you. You don't get to face your accuser. This is French Revolutionary stuff. Well, then my answer is this. Well, I can tell you that is not happening. I'm not indoctrinating these students. I don't even understand what this is about. We'd like you to stop using the John C. Maxwell material for your student leadership training. We hear the material you are presenting is Christian in nature. And as you know, Paul, that is not welcomed on a public school campus. Now, pause for a second. That was said, and again, I wrote this 8 years ago. Oh my gosh. On April of 2021. Okay, April of 2021. The principal at another high school in California, public high school, Paul, keep Jesus Christ in the parking lot. Again, I did not make the leader shift. I didn't do it. And let's continue. This is interesting. 8 years later. My response was strong. That is not the case. I have used the John Maxwell information for the last 9 years at the fictitious name Killarney High School. Not one complaint until now. Now that there is one complaint, you're telling me to stop using this material? Yes, that is what we are telling you. There are other well-known authors, leaders you can use. The union supported the KHS, Killarney High School administration. I was so disappointed in the union. And the union did the same thing at the high school in Placer County. 5 years later, the union said nothing when they said you are to keep Christ in the parking lot. You cannot tell your students I love you. And, among other things, get off social media. Okay, here we go. Going back to the 8-year-old article. Needless to say, following the directive, I decreased the number of lunchtime meetings. I was so appalled that one parent could stop us from using the John Maxwell material. Stop using the material and not ever having seen the information be used. Stop using the material in the school's leadership, and most likely the complaining parent not even read one book from cover to cover. Stop using the material because the John C. Maxwell material, because it's a retired pastor? That's the problem. He's a retired pastor, and therefore everything he does is Christian in nature, and therefore everything he does is bad, inappropriate for public schools. Ignorance. I never felt so insulted. That was 8 years later. I do feel insulted. Until that semester. I know the John C. Maxwell material. It's secular. I asked the Maxwell Leadership CEO, Mark Cole, to write a letter on my behalf supporting my use of the secular material written by John C. Maxwell. Mr. Cole obliged. He wrote a letter. He sent 3 John Maxwell books to the administrator. The administrator's response to that generosity ignored the letter and the books. There is a great program for high school students to visit Washington, D.C. Well, this year, 2017, the program was even more great because there was an opportunity to attend the inauguration parade for President Trump. Through mostly social media, we got to follow how interesting it was to be there for such a controversial president's inauguration. Interesting to see photos of Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren taken by and or with the Killarney High School students. No photos of more conservative politicians? Then the photos of the Killarney High School students attending the Women's March the following day in the inauguration parade. The Killarney students holding protest signs. Seeing all those photos on the Killarney High School students and hearing what was being said by the event speakers really bothered me. This is the first time, September 2017, I've said anything publicly about how much I was bothered. Following the trip to Washington, D.C., I'm sure the Killarney High School history teacher who took the students to those important events did not receive the similar meeting I had on October 5th. By the Killarney High School history teacher attending the parade, I need to redo this right, not very well. Okay, by the Killarney High School history teacher attending the parade with protest signs, she wasn't pushing a social agenda. Of course she wasn't. Or maybe she was pushing the acceptable social agenda. What the Killarney High School history teacher did in attending the Women's March holding protest signs was seen as a positive. Trip would lead to an honor or two for this high school teacher. Since 2008, Killarney High School, what I was doing, using the John Maxwell material, volunteering my time during lunches to teach it, was pushing a social agenda? Yet, this Killarney High School teacher did what she had her students do, march in the Women's March, carrying signs, protesting President Trump, was not pushing a social agenda, and it was acceptable. I can't believe oh my God, I'm going to keep going. I'm almost done. This is interesting. I hope it's interesting to you. On February 10th, 2017, school district-wide meeting for professional development, the Killarney High School students did team building activity for all the district's teachers. It is sweet, sarcastically, to see the high school students leading teachers in team building. The students began their activity with the teachers. So what is going to happen is we are going to ask you all a question. If you think you have the funniest answer to the question, raise your hand, and we'll come by them with a microphone, and you get to hear your answer. Teachers are giggling. Killarney High School student begins. Okay, so here's the question. If you were on a time machine, where would you like to visit? Now, teachers are talking, giggling, laughing, having fun. Here comes the first answer from a teacher at the district-wide professional development day. You ready? Teacher said, if I was in a time machine, I would visit any time prior to January 20th, 2017. The audience, teachers, high school students, roared in laughter and applause, not just sitting there. They gave her a standing ovation. I thought if that was me and I said something similar any time prior to January 20th, 2029, oh my goodness. What do you think would happen if I had done that? I would be labeled a racist, a bigot. I'd be booed. I would be shunned. So I've attached an article, and again, this is September 2017 by Dennis Prager. And the article is, I am a Marrano. I will admit it. At work, I am a conservative who watches every word I use, every action I take. I need to appear to be a fellow liberal. There is much I agree with in the liberal world, but if I shared those views, the number of topics I agree with would not be enough for the liberal world, and probably too many topics of agreement for the conservative world. I am what I consider, quote-unquote, reasonable conservative. Someone had given me that description, and I love that. Paul, you're a reasonable conservative. That's okay. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'd like to say the same about you as a liberal. Anyway, but I love my job. I want my profession. I would love to share with you more, but however, Mr. Prager's article, this is it. One musician in Minnesota wrote to me, Dennis Prager, I was a professional musician from the age of 17. I wanted you, Dennis Prager, to know that I, too, lost my career because of my views. My choice, actually. I just could not take the abuse. That statement does give me concern. Now it's back to me. That statement does give me, Paul, concern that I could lose my career by sharing this blog with you. So I will continue to be careful. If not losing my career, definitely will get the ball rolling of the eyes to be shunned. Then it gives you an update about October the 6th, 2021. I will attach this article, and I would ask for forgiveness. I need to redo this article sometime, maybe. So my conservative vision of this world is not welcomed in public education. I get it. What is not welcomed in public education? We are 100% responsible for every choice we make. This is not welcomed. I'm certain the parent who complained about the use of John C. Maxwell's material is the same parent who disagrees with the following. Here's the following. I believe life is 10% what happens to me, 90% in how I respond. No. This parent believes it's 50-50. Whatever you do to me is the reason for my response. That is definitely public education, liberal thinking. In many liberals' thought process, I need to be responsible for your reaction, your response to what I say or what I do. And I say no. I am not responsible for your reaction, your response, for what I say or what I do. If you are insulted by a joke I make, that is your choice to be insulted. Yet I will be penalized because you feel insulted by a joke. That's interesting. A feeling is a choice, and I'm held responsible for your choice. I think that is wrong. I'm winding this down. It's one of my longer ones, so thanks for listening. Here's the end. So in the end, I pray for the following. I pray for our nation to return to common sense. And again, this was written, oh my gosh. I pray for, wow. In the end, we are Americans. I pray for disagreement doesn't lead to defriending and blocking messages. I pray for forgiveness and me defriending, blocking messages due to differences, except for me being a Christian, mock my belief, mock me for being a Christian. We will go our separate ways. I pray for our children will be more mature than us in the sense we will disagree on issues, and that is okay. I pray for I am responsible for every choice I make. I pray for the following, Romans 12:19-21. Don't hit back. Discover beauty in everyone. If you got it in you, get along with everybody. Don't insist on getting even. That is not for you to do. I'll do the judging, says God. I'll take care of it, says God. Our scriptures tell us that if you see your enemy hungry, go buy that person lunch. If he's thirsty, give him a drink. Your generosity will surprise him with goodness. Don't let evil get the best of you. Get the best of evil by doing good. I pray that Antifa, by any means necessary, and other groups with the same similar political slant, find violent, non-violence actions in your response to what or who you disagree with. I pray for my message with this blog does good and does not do harm to me or those closest to me. And then finally, I pray, dear Lord Jesus, please allow us who live a conservative life be able to work alongside those who disagree with us, and will be allowed to be open with our conservative lifestyle as those who are championed for being on the liberal side. Yeah, there's a lot of syntax, but the content's pretty strong. And that's it for this episode. Wow, I am a Marrano. Begin with the end in mind. Every choice you make is who you are. Seek first to understand, then be understood. And finally, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. We hope to see you 9 a.m., March 22nd, 2025 in Roseville, California. More information again, conductingmylife.com/events. I am so grateful you listened to this. It was a long one, so I apologize for the length. I hope that you took something away from that. I had originally said just be who you are. What I'm going to say is be who you are and strive to be better than who you were yesterday. All right, because, as we all look at life, being who you are, I think I like what Dr. Peterson says. Be better today than you were yesterday. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to the person across the street, the person who's ever sitting next to you. You just compare yourself to you. Okay, begin with the end in mind. Every choice you make is who you are, so choose wisely. Seek first to understand and be understood, and finally, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. This was a tough episode. A lot of memories got brought up. Thanks so much for listening. We do have Venmo. We have a PayPal account. Costs us money to do this. I don't have any advertisers, so we'd love your, throw in $1 or $2. All right, guys. Love you so much, especially to my scholars and students that are listening, past, present, and future. Have a great day. Be better than you were yesterday. Boom.